or post like, unfriend me if you support this or whatever. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I don't support, like I said, I don't support the vandalization and all the destruction and all of that, but I support their right to protest. So if
Yeah.
you're going to go so far as to close down the discussion in the first place, that's not a good place to come from either. So it's certainly worse to be, physically destructive and violent, but at the same time, not being open to conversation with the other side, I would argue is kind of bad also. And that's kind of the problem that I see with the left is they're just as bad in that sense. Like we don't want to be convinced that you're right about anything, basically. So that's why I stepped a big time away from the left is because I found myself even on this podcast like saying shit that I was like, wow, do I really believe that? Like something I think I said something along the lines like, what's wrong with socialism? And honestly, there's quite a lot wrong with socialism if you really look into the history of it. But you got to avoid being brainwashed and you have to look at both sides. Like I think it's really important for people to hear things from both sides of the political realm because otherwise do get lulled into believing one thing or another and you don't really necessarily know why. So
Yeah.
I think the riots that it became is bullshit for sure, and for it to have been incited by a president is even bigger bullshit.
Yeah.
But but to be like, now that you've done this, we're gonna close up. It's sort of like the equivalent of like let's punch a Nazi. Like punching a Nazi isn't the answer. Like I understand that like
No.
we hate these people a lot and everything, but that's not gonna solve anything. And closing off conversation isn't gonna solve anything. That's really my
No.
point.
And don't get me wrong, punching a Nazi, yeah, it's gonna make you feel pretty good.
It sure would.
But yes, I agree. Totally the wrong way to go about it. Like
Yeah.
now, if this Nazi is physically threatening you, yeah, kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was always taught like when I was a kid, man, because I used to get beat up a lot in school, and I was always taught like never throw the first punch. But as soon as someone starts beating on you, man, you have every right to haul back because they've already thrown down basically. Like they've already set the ground rules, they've crossed over that boundary. So now, hey, fair game. So that's what I did. I didn't fight back for a long time, and then I eventually did, and eventually people stopped fucking with me. So
I say cheers to that, motherfucker. I was brought up the same way.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, fucking A, man. Don't throw the first punch, but end the fight.
Exactly. Like that's what I was always
Amen.
that's what I was always taught was, all right, never throw the first punch. You throw the first punch, you're in the wrong.
Right.
But I mean, if the second somebody puts their hands on you, and it's not wanted, like kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like
All bets are off at that
yeah,
point.
like you've asked them to leave you alone. You've gone to the higher ups and said, hey, this person will not leave me alone. Like this person is harassing me. They're not doing anything. All right, let's all go fucking Batman punch these fucking turkeys in the fucking mouth.
I don't even know what that means. Batman punched these fucking turkeys in the mouth.
Yeah, punch these fucking turkeys.
Ooh, I'm Batman. Ooh.
Thanksgiving, bitch.
Where are the drugs? Ooh.
Where's the stuffing?
Batman, why are you harassing a turkey?
It's Thanksgiving. Alfred forgot to go shopping. like,
Alfred.
it's like, wait, Alfred? Are you Bruce Wayne? Like, no. But
I gotta go.
I wish I was. That guy's got money. Like, he's stupid rich.
That's why I love Lego Batman because it really makes him more like I don't know, like that kind of bat, like not taking himself as seriously, kind of.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
yeah. It was kind of like parody Batman, like more than like the Adam West one was.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
But
So I don't know if you heard, but just going back to the Capitol thing, I was actually told in a family chat that we had yesterday, I think it was, that supposedly the 17th, Sunday, the 17th, I think it is, there's supposed to be some other, like next week, I guess, a week from today, there's supposed to be some other kind of demonstration, allegedly of some type. I don't know if you've caught wind of this at all.
I have not actually.
Okay, so I don't know what the significance of that was, and that was not made clear in the conversation that I had either. But apparently, whomever was responsible for holding, like the Trump supporters, basically, who are responsible for doing the shit that they did at the Capitol, are apparently planning to do some other thing next week, or at least that's what word around the grapevine says. So I don't know what the legitimacy is there, but let's just hope that can we just get over this shit now? Like please, can we just get on with our new president and hope that things get better, please? That's really what
Like
I want.
you gotta love like like Ted Cruz and like the other politicians that like signed off on them marching off and whatnot. And like, well, no, this isn't a time to be angry. This is a time for unity. It's like, motherfucker, you started this shit. Like, you're the one with these baseless fucking claims, and like you're looking at these people like they're rabid, like they're foaming at the mouth, like ready to punch somebody in the mouth. Like all they need is like just an excuse to do it. You've given that to them, and like, oh no, we need peace and unity here. It's like, no, fuck you.
What really pissed me off was Trump, like, really not, like, he was told apparently multiple times to tell him to, like, to back off and shit. And then when he finally comes on video and does it, like, 90% of the message was the election is a fraud, and then the other 10% is please be peaceful. And it didn't even come across as all that, like, like, you need to go home, like,
Yeah, it wasn't even sincere. It was just like, go home, be safe, we love you, we understand. By the way, the election's a fraud.
Yeah, yeah, I just feel like he doesn't quite get the message, man. Like he doesn't understand why he was being told that he needed to come out and tell people to go home. So he was just like, go home for your own safety, like be safe. And it's just like, oh motherfucker, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. So I really hope nothing happens next week. I just want to see the transition and move on. I'm not even necessarily crazy about Biden because, like I said, I'm not left. I'm not on the left either. But I can't imagine he's going to be any worse than Trump was. But I hope not.
Somebody brought up a good point. There's just like, you remember when like the biggest political scandal was just this bitch and her emails?
Like, yeah, or
yeah,
or the dude sleeping with his secretary in the Oval Office, or the Oral Office, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Jesus Christ. But
yeah, like whenever has the Capitol been besieged like that? I don't think ever.
Dude, it's every day. It's like breaking news. Trump did something stupid again. He broke the fucking law again. It's like, well, great. What's going to happen to him? Well, fucking nothing.
Well, he's the president. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well, cool.
Yeah. Okay, great. So nothing's going to happen to him. So what happened to all that shit when we were brought up? Like, nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law. Like you think back to, like, the Watergate days. Like the Republicans, like, heard that fucking, like, that conversation with Nixon and whatnot, and they're just like, look, this guy's guilty as fuck. Get the fuck out. And, like, he left office before they could impeach him. You know, it didn't help that Jerry Ford pardoned him and whatnot, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, politics has sunk in a long fucking way, man, since then.
But on both sides, I feel like both sides have really become really about, like, they stick with their identity and they'll defend that to the death, kind of. And that's really a problem. I think we need either a third option or we need people to, I think, first of all, third option would definitely not hurt, or fourth and fifth option even. But like we also need all of these people to be open to each other's ideas, because otherwise it's not going to matter how many different parties there are if nobody's listening to each other. And that's really the problem, is no one gives a fuck about what the other one's saying.
No.
So,
and, and it's that thing. It's that, like, it's the, they're putting party before country. It's like,
right.
How, like, to be fair as well, like, how many fucking bills are sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk right now that were never brought to the Senate for a vote? Like, case in point, the fucking, I think there was, like, another CARES Act that they passed, like, the House passed in, I'll say it was, like, March or April, somewhere around there, that, asked for more PPE, gave more money towards, smaller businesses and whatnot, and he just and fucking Mitch McConnell's like, no, it's going to sit on my desk. We can't afford to do this. It's like, well, okay, yeah, if you didn't pass this fucking this tax cut of over $1 trillion fucking dollars, we'd have money in the fucking budget to do this shit. Oh no, we can't afford to do that. No. And then he spent months before this second stimulus package. Just he was fighting for two things. No, one of which was companies. Can't fucking remember the word. But essentially saying that people cannot sue their employers if they get COVID-19 from working on the job. Like, they can't sue them for, like, catching it, being sick, or dying from it.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. And it's like, you motherfucker, like, these people need help. And you're just like,
seriously?
No, the corporations, they do this. Like, no, they fucking don't.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I was pretty proud of Pence, at least, for standing up and being like, no, like, I can't do, like, when Trump basically wanted him to do whatever the fuck he was going to do. And Pence basically was like, no. It was like, finally, he's not just a yes man to this motherfucker, like for once. And occasionally you do get people on both sides who aren't yes people for their party. But I think the general rule is that most people kind of are. They toe their line. And I think that's really the problem.
Well, no, but I mean, how fucking bad is it that, you know, like Mike Pence will do something like that, and people will say, "Oh, he's brave to do that." It's like,
yeah.
How?
I mean, he used his good conscience and his heart, so he deserves a medal. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, the Mike Pence's heart grew 3 sizes that day. It's like, no.
Oh man. Now I'm gonna be picturing him with a little dog Max with a little fucking antler on his head and shit. Every time I see him, I'm gonna think Jim Carrey.
The Pence that stole the election. He wouldn't do what I wanted him to do. All the who's in Whoville, they voted for Biden.
Oh man. And when they took away all the votes, they were still singing, "Fuck you, Trumpy, fuck you, Orange." Welcome, Biden. Hope today. You're a retard. Oh man.
So speaking of things that suck, though. So get this shit.
Uh-oh.
So this got brought to my attention because we're going into the realm of wrestling again.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
So there was a website called WrestleNomics. This guy, Brandon Thurston, uncovered a full list of donations made to the Trump campaign by one Chris Jericho. So,
oh, really?
Yep. So it's saying FEC.gov, which, you know, shows, you know, who like contributed to political parties, all that shit. Shows Chris Irvine of Florida contributed a total of $13,700 to Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated and the Republican National Committee in 2020. Chris Jericho of Florida gave an additional $24,660 to Winrid and Trump committees for a total of $38,360. He also says, to whether this should be shared, he's a public figure. The total amount is more than many Americans' income in 2020. The records are public. He has a large audience podcast that hosted political guests Donald Trump Jr. and Andrew Yang. A recent episode touched on COVID conspiracies as well.
Oh, no, he's not a COVID conspiracy theorist, is he?
Dude, he invited David Weiss on his show to discuss COVID-19 and QAnon. I'm just like, you motherfucker. Like, God damn it.
Okay, I'm only mildly familiar with QAnon, and I've never heard of David Weiss. Who's David Weiss?
I've never heard of
Educate
David Weiss
me,
either,
sir.
I've never heard of David Weiss either, but I mean, if he's like trying to educate about like QAnon and whatnot, that tells me he's an idiot.
Okay. Well, what is QAnon then?
So QAnon, from what I best understand, is basically like the section of like the internet that's saying that like, oh, Trump is sending, you know, these subliminal messages, and when he says like these secret code words, he's trying to tell us something. He's trying to tell us like it's basically like, you see those guys like standing on the fucking like street corner with like fucking tinfoil hats and whatnot, saying the government's putting chips in your brain and blah blah blah. Like that's like the internet forum for them. You know.
Oh shit. Oh no. Oh God. Okay, that sucks.
However, to the rescue, Mr. Thank You, Fuck You, Bye, Jim Cornette. Somebody posted that up on Twitter about Jericho donating to Trump and whatnot, and he said on Twitter, he says, quote, "Looks like someone has too much money. Give money to crippled children, cancer research, abused animals. Nah, let's give more money to this, than some people make per year to a criminal lunatic to help him shame the country and cause folks to die from disease and violence. That's it."
Oh.
And you know, man.
And
you know, man, here's kind of a thing, man. Like, I partially blame Vince McMahon for this shit.
Why?
So think about it. So one of the documentaries that I watched was, I think it was called Dirty Money. It's on Netflix. There was an episode on Trump and his old fucking spree of bullshit that he's been doing over the years. And apparently he's always wanted to be in entertainment. And one of the things that anybody that goes through WWE tells you is that it's like entertainment boot camp.